Hello, everybody, and welcome to Sin City Living. My name is Jason. I'll be bringing you today's episode. As always, we want to thank all of our fans, our sponsors, our patrons. We appreciate all of your guys' support. Everyone that's bought us a cup of coffee, been greatly appreciated. We've had a rough couple of weeks here in the family, been out of work for a week and a half, coming up on 2 weeks, thanks to our old friend COVID running through us. I don't want to take up a whole lot of time with the usual spiel, so all of you guys that are interested in what's going on with Sin City Living and what we plan on doing in the future with our live streams and upcoming events, please stick around to the end of the video or skip to the end of the video and watch. I will put most of that stuff in the ending spiel, and I will try and update it every week or two with more news. Otherwise, that being said, we're just going to go ahead and jump straight into today's video. So for today's video, this one will probably be a little bit shorter. I just want to touch upon a couple of things that pop up on occasion throughout a shift. One being people that try and play cash, and the other thing being call bets. Now, before I get into it, I want to thank everybody for those coffees this month. It was absolutely huge for us. All the illnesses really took us down. So we didn't end up spending it on coffee. We ended up spending it on bills and my son's birthday. But he had a wonderful birthday with a really cool Baby Yoda birthday cake. So thank you, everybody. We really appreciate it. Can't describe to you how much we appreciate it. All right, so let's see. Now, the first thing, this doesn't come up as often, but cash plays. Cash plays. Here's the thing, guys. Cash does not play at most casinos. Most casinos are not going to allow cash plays anymore. It used to be a thing, and it used to be a big thing. I do still see it on occasion, typically at off-strip casinos where they basically just need every single dollar they can get. So they tend to turn a blind eye towards some of the stuff. But cash generally does not play in casinos anymore. Now, if you are a huge whale with a ton of money, then maybe. They may allow it. You're on a reserve table. You came in with a $10 million line of credit or $10 million in front money. You've got a reserve table. It's just for you. They may allow cash plays at this point. Although if you're running off a line of credit, probably not. You wouldn't need it. You may have to do things like table markers and stuff like that. But in general, for the average player, cash does not play. People will come up, while there's a point, somebody will come up, the shooter has the dice in their hand, and they just kind of shove their way in, elbow their way in between a bunch of people. They throw a $100 bill into the field, and they yell out field bet. And if the dealer is in any way, shape, or form paying attention or has any skill set at all, they're going to scream out right behind that, no bet. And then they're going to follow that up with change after the roll, no action. The dice are already in the shooter's hand. We're going to leave that $100 bill sitting in the field, or $20 bill, whatever it may be. We're going to leave it sitting in the field. But we're going to call no action, change only, no action, change after the roll, no action, or just a no bet, no action, whatever it may be. We're going to call no action on that. The only thing that is going to play at most casinos is going to be checks. Cash will not play. Then people get all butthurt about it when a 12 rolls or something like that. And we tell them, well, next time, don't bet late. Don't bet late. Throw it in earlier. We have time to make the change for you and put it in the field. So cash will generally not play. Again, there'll be some exceptions on a case-by-case basis, but in general, cash does not play. Now, what about call bets? What is a call bet, you ask? Well, a call bet is when you're standing there, maybe you're one of those players that just keeps, playing with their chips, counting their chips, or it takes a while to count out the chips, and the dealers have waited long enough, they got to get a roll, they're moving the dice, and you want to make your bet. Maybe you want to make maybe you just want to do like a 32 inside or something like that. Right? The dice have already moved, they're at the shooter, you don't want to reach your hand into the table, very appreciated that you don't, so you just call out inside. Well, if you call out inside, the dealer's going to say, no bet this roll. If you call out 32 inside, now you have actually given us a dollar amount. Now you're at kind of a 50-50 thing. Some casinos will actually even have it printed on their layout, no call bets. Even if it's not printed on the layout, a lot of casinos are not going to allow call bets, especially if we do not know you. If we don't know you, and trust you. Just because we know you doesn't mean we trust you. If we don't know you or we don't trust you, it's going to be a no bet. Some casinos, it's going to be a no bet no matter what. You could be our greatest regular. It's going to be a no bet because they flat do not allow call bets. Okay? Now, if we do know you, what I'm going to do is I'm going to glance up real fast and I'm going to look at your hand. If you call 32 inside and I glance up and look at your hand, and your hand looks like this, I might call bet. I might say, you got a bet, 32 inside. 32 inside, that is a bet. And then let the dice roll, and we'll expect you to drop the money down no matter what. The reason that we do not allow call bets, especially if we don't know you, is because there are players that will call something like 32 inside, then a 7 out comes, and they will say, nope, I didn't put it down, and they will refuse to drop it. Now, at that point, then the box may get involved, or possibly even security if we decide to kick you off the table. We're not going to take the money from you. I mean, we obviously can't physically take the money from you. But if you don't drop the money down, you're either going to get kicked off the table, or you're not going to be allowed to make any bets whatsoever unless the dice are locked into the center of the table. If you try and make a late bet, even if the stick has just touched the dice, even if they're still in the middle of the table, you try and make a bet, they're going to instantly call no bet. Basically, you will have lost all ability to have any leeway whatsoever because you cheated. That's basically what it is. You cheated. That's assuming that the box doesn't just kick you off the table, kick you out of the dice pit, or kick you out of the casino entirely. Because again, you just cheated, right? So if I look up, I know you, and I look up and I see this $32 in your hand for your 32 inside that you just called out, I'm probably going to say bet. What I recommend for most people, if you've got a late bet and you want to make the bet, and you've managed to pull out your chips, but the dice are already moving. Let's assume that this is where you're standing, so this is the rail that your chips are resting on, right? What I tell most people is what you do is you say, I want 32 inside, and then just drop it right there against the wall. If your chips hit the table, you have a much higher chance of them saying bet. Much higher. I would say you have a 90 to 95% chance of them calling bet. If you were clear in what you were saying. If you call 32 inside or whatever it may be. Here's something. If a player says, player does something like this. I want to cross, and then just drops your chips down. No bet. No bet. Because you want what across? What is it you're trying to bet across? Are you trying to bet 78 across, so you just have really crappy math, so you grabbed a ton of chips? Because we see that a lot. We can't just assume that it's going to be the closest to whatever you drop down, because there are players with really bad math or players that don't know what they're betting, so they just drop a ton of money in and they expect the minimum bet. So if you are not clear in what you say, do you want 78 across? Do you want 104 across? Do you want 130 across? It could be anything. There's $130 right there, but that doesn't mean that's what they were trying to bet. What if they want to include the 8? Now it's not 130 across. So now what is it? So if you don't say a dollar amount, don't say exactly what your bet is, you're probably going to get no betted unless it's something very, very clear. For instance, if you drop this down and say, I want to cross, the dealer will glance down and go 78 across, that's a bet. They need to be able to call out the amount of your bet. They need to book it so that you cannot try and argue afterwards, or so the player cannot try and argue afterwards. No, that's not what I was betting. Okay? So generally, the best thing to do when it comes to call bets is just don't make late bets. But if you need to, drop it down right there at the edge of right there against the wall. Don't stick your hand in the table. Just drop the chips down and call your bet out clearly and in detail. And the dealers will be able to take care of you if they can. So I hope you guys find this interesting, illuminating, enlightening, or at least just plain fun. We will catch you guys next time. Bye now. Okay, everybody, and as promised, all the usual blah blah that I try and do at the beginning of the video, we're going to go ahead and put near the end of the video. And here we go. So thank you, everybody, for your usual patronage. All of you that are patrons of ours, we very, very much appreciate it. Thank you, everybody who's been buying us a cup of coffee. Love to say that it's going to coffee right now, but this month with the entire family out for COVID, it's honestly going to Bill's and probably the kid's birthday in a week. But we definitely appreciate it.
we're going to continue working on these live streams. I know you guys have seen some of them popping up. Just got to figure out the look of it, and some of the audio is still giving me issues. But hopefully we'll be getting those live streams and the craps tournaments going as soon as possible. Really just going to depend on scheduling. My schedule changed, Amy's schedule changed, kids' school schedule is fun. So once we figure out exactly how all those schedules are going to work, we'll let everybody know. And otherwise, please continue emailing us with anything you would like to see videoed. And again, thank you everybody for tuning in. We appreciate every single one of you guys. We'll catch you next time. Bye now.